You are not required to carry everyone else's weight. Right now, some of you listening right now are tired. Not because you're weak, not because you are lazy, not because you've been carrying things that's your personal things, but because you've been carrying things that were never meant to be yours. You carry other people's expectations, other people's emotions, other people's mistakes, other people's unfinished healing. And somewhere along the way, you confuse responsibility with sacrifice. Burnout doesn't always come from work, it comes from emotional overextension. From being the strong one, from being the reliable one, from being the one who never says no. But let me say this clearly. Being compassionate does not mean being consumed. You are allowed to care without collapsing. You are allowed to help without hurting yourself. You are allowed to love without losing your identity. Some people will make you feel guilty. They'll make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. That guilt is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign the boundary was needed. Not everyone who leans on you is entitled to stay there forever. Because growth requires honesty, especially with yourself. And honesty sometimes sounds like, I can't do this anymore. This week, remove yourself from the emotional burden that is draining you and choose rest without apology. Choose rest without apology. Slow growth is still growth. Whether slow or fast, growth is still growth. We live in a world obsessed with speed, fast success, instant results, overnight transformations. And if your progress doesn't look impressive on the outside, you start questioning yourself. But real growth is rare, it's really dramatic, it's subtle, incremental, quiet. Comparing is one of the biggest thieves of joy. You see other people's highlights and judge your behind the scenes. You don't see the setbacks, the therapy sessions, the failures, the tears that they have been through. Slow growth builds stability. Fast growth often collapses in some cases. So if you're moving forward, even slowly, it means you're winning. Because healing is not a race. Becoming is not a competition. So stop pushing, stop rushing your success. Acknowledge every small step you've taken and honor it. The way you treat people who can't benefit you. Watch how someone treats people they don't need. People they know they cannot get anything from. But again, you can never know how the world turns, because even the Bible said that time and chance happens to all. Things can happen overnight. You don't know. No one knows what happens tomorrow. You can plan and keep all the wealth and keep all the properties and keep everything. But you can't predict the turns of life the next day, in the next minute, even. You can't. So, but for some people who assume that they don't need these people, they can never need them, just watch how someone treats people they don't need. That's where their character lives. Not how they treat superiors, not how they act when something is at stake, but how they treat those who offer nothing in return. Transactional relationships are everywhere. Everywhere. People measure worth by usefulness, attention by advantage, but humanity is not a transaction. Kindness without an agenda, without transactional relationship is rare. but it is very powerful. Every interaction is a mirror. How you treat others reflects who you are, not who they are. Because empathy is not weakness, respect is not optional. Decency should not depend on status. It shouldn't. My challenge for you today is perform one act of kindness this week for someone who can do nothing for you. Someone who let's assume that these people, right, someone who you think can never do anything for you. This week, perform something. Perform one act of kindness for them and tell no one about it. Tell no one about it. What you practice, you become. Most people don't become who they want to be, they become who they practiced being. Your habits are votes, your routines are rehearsals, your daily choices are shaping your future. They're shaping your future quietly and consistently. In 2026, people talk a lot about potential, but potential means nothing without practice. You don't wake up confident, you practice confidence. You don't wake up disciplined because you practice discipline. You don't wake up peaceful, you practice regulation. What you repeat becomes a reflex. What you tolerate becomes normal. What you practice becomes identity. The life you're living right now is the result of things you've practiced in the past, consciously or unconsciously. This is not meant to shame you, it's meant to empower you. Because if practice builds your current reality, practice can rebuild it. Small habits doesn't look impressive, but they compound. Few minutes a day seems insignificant until it changes your mindset, until it changes your self-trust, until it changes your future. Stop waiting for motivation because motivation is unreliable without effort. Practice is loyal. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to start repeating what aligns with who you want to become. Just keep repeating it. Choose one small habit that aligns with your future self and practice it daily for the next 14 days. No expectations, no perfections, just consistency.